And welcome to this special KUBS broadcast covering the third and fourth place game of the Northeast 2B District Tournament. We're at West Valley High School and ready to watch the Colfax Bulldogs face off against the Davenport Gorillas and ready to make their trips to the state tournament. Eyes are wide open to see how both teams will face off one another on this February afternoon. I'm Haley Bolliard, and beside me is Mason Hay, and we're just going to get rolling right into this pregame show. So Mason, what can we see from the Bulldogs here?
Well, they did just take a win last night against Freeman, with that scoring being 50-49, so really close game there.
Yes, that was a super fun game to watch there. The Bulldogs walk away with a 1-point difference over Freeman to take their trip to state here. So with that, we can see that they typically score in the 40 to 50 point range here. So I'm excited to see if they'll follow that standard here tonight.
Yeah, definitely a stronger team on defense. A lot of different aspects there that.
Yeah, for sure. I love watching their defensive efforts and all the different plays they run. And they need to focus on bringing up the pace a bit while still remaining in control of the ball and not allowing turnovers. Davenport thrives off those, so they need to be careful with that here.
Yeah, Jenkin is on fire from downtown last night and really helped her team secure that victory.
Yeah, that's for sure. She was an absolute unit beyond the arc. Super fun to watch. And endurance is going to be a major factor here. They need to finish out as strong as they started. And with both these teams playing last night, they could be worn down a bit, so just making sure that they're staying up with the entire game.
Yeah, the Bulldogs are definitely good aggressively and like to put tight pressure on the offense.
Yes, for sure. They also like to try and cause turnovers there. And this team is working on making their shots sink from beyond the arc, and I'm excited that Jenkins started picking up on that last night. I am really excited to see if we can see that here again today.
Yeah, and looking at their height, they have 3 girls standing over 6 foot, and that can help them really win this game.
Yeah, for sure. With the rebounds as well, getting those opportunities is vital. So with that look at the Bulldogs, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll go through what we're going to see from the Davenport Gorillas. So stay tuned on Cubs FM. And welcome back to the pregame show. I'm Haley Bolliard, and joining me is Mason Hay. We have 6 minutes, 22 seconds left before the game starts, and after taking some time and discussing Colfax, we're going to get a look at Davenport. Mason, what are we going to see?
Well, Davenport did also just come off a win against Lynn Ritzville last night, with that score being 43-37.
Yeah, another super close game there. That one you really could have gone either way with up until the bitter end. That was a super fun one to see. And this is an offense-focused team. They're able to put the points on the board quickly and really work their way around the court.
Yeah, they definitely have strong transition offense and like to push the ball and capitalize on turnovers.
Yes, for sure. That's always really fun to see from this team, just kind of giving the other team some stress there and trying to make them think that they'll steal the ball away at any second. And on that defensive side, this team can apply pressure and force other teams into making some rush shots that make them a little more uncomfortable.
Yeah, definitely a very aggressive and physical team we have here, which helps their defense a lot.
Yeah, for sure. So with that, they're also going to need to watch foul trouble, especially when applying that pressure. Just need to make sure that it isn't too far out there. And this is a team that came out second overall in their league. So really solid team here with the Gorillas. And so with that, stay tuned on Cubs FM to see how each team is going to be matching up before tip-off. We'll be right back after this short break. And welcome back to the pregame show. Again, I'm Haley Bolliard, and with me today is Mason Hay. Getting a good look at both teams. What is this game going to look like tonight?
Well, Colfax's half-court defense versus Davenport's transition offense is going to be a really big part of this game. And whichever team controls the tempo will control the game, too.
Yes, for sure. And like we mentioned before, both these teams are coming off close physical wins. Colfax 50-49 over Freeman, and Davenport 43-37 over Lindritzville Sprague. So endurance and recovery could play a huge role in this game here today.
Yeah, and the rebounding battle will also be a pretty big factor, with Colfax having those three players over 6 foot that can crash the boards really well, but Davenport's physical style won't make it that easy.
Yeah, for sure, and foul trouble could swing the momentum in this game. Davenport plays aggressive pressure defense, and Colfax likes to apply tight pressure as well, so whistles could change the rotations really fast.
Yeah, so expect a defensive grind early with both teams, because both teams can score, but neither gives up easy buckets.
Yes, for sure. This is going to be a game of hard work and determination. Three-point shooting may be the X factor in this game. If Colfax starts knocking down shots from beyond the arc, it forces Davenport to stretch their defense a bit more and get more creative.
Yeah, late game execution will matter a ton here, because both teams proved last night that they can win close games, so whoever handles the time better tonight will be winning.
Yes, for sure. And so with that, this isn't even just about a third or fourth place game. It's about building the confidence and rhythm that they'll need heading into that state tournament, as both these teams are now state qualifiers. So getting that in their rhythm here tonight is going to be vital. So with that, we have just 1 minute, 58 seconds left on the clock. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back for tip-off right after this. And welcome back to this KUBS Sports broadcast. We are ready to get this game started with the reading of our starters here. We'll go ahead and start with the away team being the Davenport Gorillas here tonight. So, first up here for the Gorillas, we have number 11. This is a sophomore guard at 5'5", Charlotte Soliday. Then first up for the Bulldogs, we have number 10. This is a senior guard at 5'3", Izzy Huntley. Next up for the Gorillas, we have number 32, a senior guard at 5'5", Sam Stiles. Then we'll move down to number 12. Number 14. This is a senior guard at 5'6". That's Addie Penwell for the Bulldogs. Next up here for the Gorillas, we have number 13. This is a senior guard standing at 5'7", Glenna Soliday. Next up for the Bulldogs, we have number 30. This is a freshman guard at 5'8", Allie Jenkins. Next up for the Gorillas, we have number 20. This is a senior post at 5'5". You're looking at McCall Knopp. Then for the Bulldogs, we have number 32. This is a freshman point guard at 6 foot, Brooke Vanderbark. Last up here for the Gorillas, we have number 34, a senior post at 6'3", Claire Lathrop. And rounding out the lineup for the Bulldogs, we have number 42, a senior post as well. She stands at 6 foot. That's Lola Henniger. All right, Mason, both teams stepping out onto the court here. Time for our favorite game of the day. Who do you think is going to win tip-off?
I've got Davenport on this one.
Okay, you take Davenport. I will gladly take Colfax for this tip. I know they got this one in the bag today. I just got a good feel about them. Davenport still having their last little team get ready session here. Players just going off for leaving our starters on the court here. Both teams now coming up towards this center jump circle here. We'll have Lathrop stepping in to go against Vanderbark. So, Mason, you have got 6'3" there, and I have a 6 foot. So you do have our height advantage today. Tip is up, and it does go into the hands of the Gorillas there, picked up by Glenna Soliday. She'll direct some traffic as she goes up towards the top of the arc, swing down on that left wing with her sister Charlotte, who drives up, hands it back. We're going to swing down this right side now. Push up into the key there. It's intended for Lathrop, but she loses control. Ball will bounce out of bounds. That's off of the hands of Lathrop. So we'll have the Bulldogs inbounding. That's Penwell handing it over to Jenkins. Jenkins taking this one through the jump circle up towards the top of the arc. She'll swing off towards that right side. Pass up towards the left wing now with Henniger. Tries to push it up into the paint, but it's in the hands of Soliday. She's on the fast break. Goes down towards the right block. Up for two from Soliday, and that will sink. Score is now 2-0 with the Gorillas in the lead. 7:23 left in the first. We have Jenkins trying to have a long pass over to Vanderbark. Could not get that one under control. Bounced out of bounds. That's off of the hands of the Bulldogs. So now we will be having Stiles inbound that one over to Charlotte Soliday. Soliday calls out a play in between circles. Pass over on the right wing now. Gonna get it at the right short corner. Now back outside of the arc. Swing up at that right slot. Now working down that left side. Get it back down on the right wing here. Try and direct some traffic. We have 9 left on that shot clock. Charlotte Soliday drives in towards the right block. Up for two, and it's over the basket from Soliday. Vanderbark tries grabbing the rebound. Ball will bounce out of bounds, but they call it off the hands of the Gorillas. So we have Vanderbark inbounding here for the Bulldogs. Gives that one over to Jenkins. Takes it up through the middle of the court here, crossing the timeline. She'll swing down on the right wing. And called on the Bulldogs there, so we'll have possession handed back over here to the Gorillas. They'll be inbounding from the far sideline. That is Glenna Soliday handing it over to her sister. Take this one, jogging over the Eagle logo, up to the point. Swing down on the right wing with Stiles. Hand it back out towards the top of the arc. Drive in towards the right block. Up for two from under the basket, and that is good again from Glenna Soliday. 4-0 is now that score with 6:30 left in the first. We have the Bulldogs drive down under the basket. Up for two. The shot will sink there from Colfax, but we also have a foul called up on the play, so we get an and one call, sending Jenkins to the free throw line.
Foul coming against Charlotte Soliday for her first personal and first team foul.
We also have a sub rolling in here for the Bulldogs.
That's Holly Robinson.
So now we have that and one call here from Jenkins. Shot is up. It's front of the rim from Jenkins. Lathrop grabs that rebound, handing it over to Glenna Soliday. She'll take this one over the center stripe towards the top of the arc. Swing down on the right wing here with her sister. Lobs a pass over on the left wing now. Drives up into the paint, finds the right block. Up for two from Glenna Soliday. The shot will sink as well for Soliday to bring the score 6-2, and a foul called here against the Bulldogs to send Soliday to the charity stripe with an and one call there.
Foul coming against number 42, Lola Henniger, for her first personal and first team foul.
So Glenna Soliday's and one is up, and that is good from Soliday. Score 7-2 now with the Gorillas in the lead. 6:09 left in the first. Allie Jenkins taking this one up into the front court now. Takes it up down the left lane. And she'll go up for a deep two from the elbow, but it will not sink. Vanderbark trying to grab her rebound there. Gets tripped up a bit. Ball will go out of bounds with Vanderbark there. So possession handed back to the Gorillas. We'll have Styles set to inbound this one to Charlotte Soliday. She'll take this one quickly through the backcourt as she gets up towards the top of the arc. Swing down on that left side here. Loves to pass out on the right wing to Charlotte Soliday. She'll pass that one into her sister Glenna at the lane, up for two, but the shot will not sink, and it's Robinson with the rebound. She'll pass that one over to Jenkins, trying to work up towards the top of the arc. Long pass over to Robinson, left block. Up for two from Robinson, and that shot will be good. Now we have Robinson also going to that charity stripe with another and one call here.
Foul coming against number 23, Addie Schneider.
Oh, excuse me.
That's Sam Styles with her first personal and second team foul.
And one up from Robinson, and that one will not sink, so score remains 7-4 with the Gorillas in the lead. 5:26 left in the first. Charlotte Soliday on this right side. Hands it over to her sister Glenna at the wing. Lobs a pass over to Charlotte on the left side. Drive up in towards the free throw line, finds the right block, up for two. That is no good from Soliday. Vanderbark grabbing that rebound and passing it over to Jenkins on the far sideline. Jenkins keeping the pace up, hands it over to Huntley on the right wing. Back to Jenkins now, up for three from the right wing. Swishes right on in there for Jenkins. Score is now tied 7-7 with 4:55 left in the first quarter. So we have Charlotte Soliday crossing the eagle at the top of the arc. Hands that one over to Glenna on the left side. Now back to Charlotte, right wing. She'll take it back towards the top, hand it to her sister at the right slot. Drive up into the paint there. Has to hand that one off when we have a foul called here. This one will be going against the Colfax Bulldogs.
Gonna go against Allie Jenkins for her first personal and second team foul.
We also have a sub rolling in here for the Gorillas.
Taylor Lebret.
And we will be having Charlotte Soliday set to inbound for Davenport. Fresh 30 on the shot clock. Shot up from Lathrop, but it will not sink. Vanderbark grabs the rebound and hands it over to Jenkins. Jenkins takes the ball to the top of the arc, swings down this left lane now. Hand over to Robinson. Gets it to Henniger, top of the arc and up for three, but it's back of the iron, no good. Lebret grabs the rebound and hands it over to Charlotte Soliday. Long pass over to Lathrop at the right block, up for two, but it's over the rim for Lathrop. Vanderbark grabs the rebound for the Bulldogs here, back over to Jenkins. Jenkins, long pass over to Huntley at the left wing, up, and that is good from Izzy Huntley to bring the score 9-7 now. 4:02 left in the first. Timeout called, so we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back after this. And welcome back to this KUBS Sports broadcast. We have both teams taking courtside now. The Gorillas set to inbound from that far baseline. That'll be Lebret handing it over to Charlotte Soliday. She'll take this one over the center stripe, handed down on that left wing. Looking for a pass on the right side. Charlotte Soliday on the wing. Drives under the basket, passes it over to Glenna at the right block, up for two, but it will not sink. And Charlotte Soliday picking up that rebound, passing it over before it gets taken out of bounds, but it's into the hands of the Bulldogs. Allie Jenkins now on the fast run down towards the top of the arc. Step back out right wing, up for a pullback three, but it will not set there. Rebounded by the Gorillas, handed over to Charlotte Soliday. She'll take this one to the top of the arc, hand it down on the right wing now with LeBret. Back up top of the arc, Glenna Soliday, swing down that left side now. Lobs a pass over on the right wing, looking for a way into the paint there. Tries to find Lathrop, but even with Lathrop tight, it goes over her head and out of bounds there off of the hands of the Gorillas. So we have Vanderbark inbounding for the Bulldogs at the far sideline. She'll hand that one over into the hands of Jenkins. Jenkins gonna slow down her pace as she crosses the halfway point here. Gets over on that right wing, now up for another three. That one will swish right on in there for Jenkins. 12-7 is now that score with 2:55 left in the first, and Glenna Soliday taking control of this one for the Gorillas. She'll hand it down on the right wing here. Looking for a pass with LeBret, gets it off to Lathrop in the key. Now over to Stiles at the short corner, up for two, but it's over the basket. Vanderbark with the rebound, passes it over to Robinson, who gets it to Jenkins. Jenkins taking this one through the backcourt, slowing it down as she gets over the timeline, swings down on that left side. We'll hand it over to Huntley at the left wing, who circles around, goes down the right lane, pass back out towards the top of the arc with Vanderbark. Get it on that right side, deep off that right wing, up for three, but it will not sink there. We have Charlotte Soliday trying to grab that rebound, but it will go out of bounds, and we also have subs coming in for both of the teams here.
For Colfax coming in, Lola Henniger, and for the Gorillas, Mikal Knopp.
We have Jenkins set to inbound for the Bulldogs here at this near sideline. Looking for a pass, gets it off to Henniger on the left wing. She'll try and push that one into Vanderbark at the left block, up for two, and that sinks for Vanderbark. 14-7 now reads that score with 2:02 left in this first quarter. We have Charlotte Soliday handing it off to Glenna at the right wing. Back over to Charlotte at the corner, takes it in under the basket, up for two, and that will not sink from Charlotte Soliday, but she grabs her own rebound. Push over to LeBret on the left wing. Now we have Glenna Soliday at the left slot, up for three from Soliday. Shot falls short of the basket, but it's due to no fault of her own. We'll see Glenna Soliday go to the charity stripe for three.
Foul going against Allie Jenkins for her second personal and third team foul.
So 3 shots here for Glenna Soliday. First shot is up from Soliday. That one hits the back of the rim and will not sink. Score remaining 14-7 for the time being. 1:43 left in the first quarter. Second shot is up from Soliday. That one will swish right on in there for us. Score now bumped up 14-8 with the Bulldogs ahead by 6. And last shot here for Soliday. That one is up, and that is good from Soliday to bring score 14-9. 1:43 left in the first. Jenkins calling out a play in the backcourt here. She'll get on the sprint down towards that right wing. Pass back out towards the top of the arc with Henniger. She'll get it off on the left wing now with Vanderbark, who drives into the key there, goes towards the right block, up for two, but the shot gets swatted down. It's picked up by LeBret. She'll shoot that one over to Charlotte Soliday, who takes it to the top of the arc. Drives down the right lane, up for two from the block, and that will sink from Charlotte Soliday. Score is now 14-11 with 1:11 left in the first. And Jenkins in the jump circle. She'll take it down that right side again. Gets off on the right wing, then steps back towards the sideline. Hand over to Henniger at the slot. Henniger will find Huntley on the wing again. She'll take it up towards the free throw line, pass it over to Vanderbark. Ball will go out of bounds, and that's off of the hands of Vanderbark there. So Gorillas inbounding this one from underneath the Bulldogs basket. That's LeBret set to inbound to Charlotte Soliday. Soliday taking this one quickly through the backcourt, gets it to the top of the arc. She'll swing down this right side, hand it off to her sister at the wing. Circle around towards the top of the arc again, now back off to Charlotte Soliday at the right wing. She's trying to get her way into the paint there. Gives it over to LeBret. Now back to Soliday on the right wing, getting boxed out here. LeBret will go up for three from the right slot, but it hits the side of the iron. Ball bounces out of bounds, and that's off of the hands of the Gorillas. So now we'll have the Bulldogs to inbound this one with only 26.7 seconds left in the first quarter, so our shot clocks are turned off. That's Allie Jenkins crossing the Eagle logo. She'll go down on that right wing again. And we have a foul called here. This one will be going against the Bulldogs, so we have possession handed back over to the Gorillas.
Foul coming against Holly Robinson for her first personal and fourth team foul.
So now Glenna Soliday takes this one and pushes it down on the right wing with LeBret. Back out to Charlotte Soliday, top of the arc. Swing back down towards this right side again. Have Charlotte Soliday, right wing. 4 seconds left. She goes up for a three, swirls out of there, and that was initially rebounded by Henniger. We have a foul called to be going against the Gorillas here.
Foul coming against Claire Lathrop for her first personal and set third team foul.
So we'll get a little more time set on the clocks here, as that was near the end of the first quarter of action. But with that foul called, we got to have half a second set back on that clock so we can get this one finished out here. And so we will be having the Bulldogs inbound this pass. That will be Vanderbark set to inbound. Officials handing her that ball now, gets a pass over to Henniger, and that will now be the end of the first quarter of action. Score is 14-11. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this. And welcome back to this KUBS Sports broadcast. We're ready to get that second quarter started. Score right now is Bulldogs with 14 and the Gorillas with 11. Only a 3-point difference right now. Both teams stepping back out onto the court, and we'll have Huntley inbounding for the Bulldogs. She'll give it over to Jenkins. Keeps the pace controlled here. She goes down towards that right wing. Pass into the key there, but it's stolen away by Lathrop. Hands that one over to Glenna Soliday. Soliday gets it off to her sister on the right wing. Now we find LeBret at the right corner. Swing back around towards the top of the arc. Now right wing trying to drive up in there. Hands back to LeBret on the corner. Now we have Charlotte Soliday, right wing again. Passes that one into Lathrop at the block. Now over to that left wing with Glenna Soliday. 7 seconds left on that shot clock. We have Charlotte Soliday at the left slot. Back over on the left wing. Glenna Soliday up for that last second three, and that will sink from Soliday to tie up our score now 14-14. 7 minutes and 13 seconds left in the second quarter here. We have Jenkins taking this one down the left wing this time. She's looking for a pass, gets it over to Vanderbark on the right side. Finds that right block, up for two from Vanderbark, but the shot will not sink. She grabs. Robinson grabs that rebound, tries to get the putback shot. It will not work out there, but we have a jump ball called as both teams fight for that rebound. This one will go in the favor of the Gorillas. So that has LeBret to inbound for the Gorillas underneath the Bulldogs basket there. Hands it over to Charlotte Soliday. She'll take this one down the right side of the court. Hand over to LeBret at the right corner. Gets it back off to Soliday. Now we have Glenna at the top of the arc. Swing back down on this right side, looking for a way into the paint there. Tries to take that one up to the free throw line, and a bit too aggressive here from the Bulldogs. We're gonna have a foul called up here on the play.
Foul coming against Allie Jenkins, her third personal and first team foul.
And we also have a sub rolling in here in place of Jenkins.
It's gonna be Addie Penwell.
So now we have Charlotte Soliday inbounding from under her basket, gets it off to Glenna at the right wing. Now we'll get it back to Charlotte, who gives it to LeBret, top of the arc and up for three. Swish right on in there for LeBret.
No one was there on that one.
No, wide open for 17-14 now that score with 6:24 left in the first half. We have Huntley taking it down the left wing, handing that one over to Robinson in the key, but it gets knocked out of her hands and stolen away by Knopp. Now we have a long pass over to Glenna Soliday off on that left wing. Back out to her sister between circles. She'll take it down this right side now. LeBret swinging it up just at that left slot. Now get it to Lathrop at the left block. Up for a two from Lathrop. Her shot will not sink. However, she will get the chance to make up the points at the free throw line with a foul called against the Bulldogs.
Foul going against Lola Henniger for her second personal and second team foul. 2
shots here for Claire Lathrop. Officials handing her that ball. Her first shot is up, and that is just right of the mark for her. Will not sink. Score remaining 17-14 with 5:58 left in the second quarter. One more shot here for Lathrop. Shot is up, and that one is good from Lathrop to lengthen their lead 18-14. 5:58 left, and timeout called. So we're going to take a quick break too, and we will be right back after this. And welcome back to this KUBS broadcast. We have the Gorillas back out on the court here. Now we also have the Bulldogs stepping back out. 5:58 left here in the second quarter. And we'll have Vanderbark inbounding for the Bulldogs. Officials getting ready to hand her the ball there. Now Vanderbark looking for that inbound pass, hands it over to Huntley. Huntley gets it to Henniger. Now back to Vanderbark on this near sideline. Tries to pass it to Robinson, but Glenna Soliday steals that one away. Right block up for two, and that will sink from Soliday. 20-14 now that score. 5:43 left in the second. So we have Huntley in control here for the Bulldogs. Loses control, but it's picked back up by Robinson and handed back to Huntley. Huntley looking to try and get down that right wing here. Pass into Robinson at the right lane, and then we'll get it stolen away there by Charlotte Soliday. Soliday hands it off to her sister at the top of the arc. Now back down to Charlotte on the right wing. Now back outside of the arc for the Bulldogs. They'll get to LeBret on the right slot. Right wing up for three from LeBret, but it hits the side of the rim, and it's Robinson with the rebound. Hands that one over to Henniger. Henniger, long pass over to Robinson, who drives down right block, up for two, and that will sink from Robinson. 16-20 is now that score with 4:55 left in the second quarter. We have Charlotte Soliday, right slot. Pass down to LeBret on the wing. Back over to Soliday, now lobs a pass over to her sister on the left side. Back off to LeBret at the right corner, up for three, will not sink for LeBret. Henniger grabbing that rebound for the Bulldogs. She'll take this one over the Eagle logo. Pass down on that left side now. Get it to Robinson, right block, and up for two, but that one is just short of going over the rim there. Gets her own rebound, but she has to fight for this one. Jump ball called. This one will be going in the favor of the Bulldogs, and Bulldogs also rolling in a sub.
That's number 0, Ali Nebe.
So now we'll have Nebe inbounding this one for the Bulldogs right underneath their basket. 28 seconds left on that shot clock. Looking for her pass here. And gets that one intended for Vanderbark, but it's stolen away by Soliday. Soliday passes it over to her sister Charlotte at the right wing. Tries to get up towards that right block, then hands it back out to Glenna at the right wing. Up for three, and it's right on the money for Soliday. 23-16 is what that score now reads. 4:05 left in the first half. So we have Huntley handing this one over to NE2B at the left slot. NE2B gets it to Vanderbark on the wing. Vanderbark pass back over to Huntley at the top of the arc, who swings down left wing. Back over at the slot now. Have 10 seconds left on that shot clock. Steps up into the key and up for two for Vanderbark, but the shot will not sink. And foul called up here on the play. This one will be going against the Bulldogs.
Foul going against number 42, Lola Henniger, for her third personal and third team foul. Oh, that's actually going to be going against Brooke Vanderbark for her first personal. Still third team foul there.
And now we have LeBret between circles here for the Gorillas. Hand over to Glenna Soliday at the left wing. Now into Lathrop at the left lane. Back over to Soliday, right wing. Now over to LeBret at the corner. We have 9 seconds left on the shot clock. Goes up for the three, but it's over the basket for LeBret. We do have the Gorillas rebounding that one. Shot put up by Charlotte Soliday. Will not sink. And we have the Bulldogs trying to take this one down the court, and a foul called here to be going against the Gorillas.
Foul coming against Taylor LeBret for her first personal and first team foul.
Now we have NE2B inbounding for the Bulldogs over to Huntley. She'll hand that one over to Henniger. And now we'll get this one intended for Robinson, but it's over her head. Vanderbark finds that one and tries to pass it, but it's stolen away here by Glenna Soliday. Now over to Charlotte on the left wing. Back to Glenna at the top of the arc. Get it to LeBret, left wing, up for three. Almost goes in, but just barely swirls out there for her. Have another jump ball called on the rebound. This one will be going to the Gorillas. And so they'll be sending Charlotte Soliday to inbound this one. Fresh 30 on that shot clock. Charlotte Soliday inbounding this one here. Looks for that pass, gets it off to her sister Glenna at the right wing, but it's stolen away by Huntley. We'll now find Henniger in control, getting down that far sideline, circling around towards the middle here. Hand over to NE2B on the left side. NE2B trying to work around traffic here. She's stuck on that left wing. Hand over to Huntley at the left slot. Up for three from Huntley, but it's short of the rim. That one is rebounded by Henniger. Pass back to Huntley. Now we'll find NE2B at the slot. Hand it over to Vanderbark at the right block. Up for two from Vanderbark, but it's just at that right side of the iron. And we have Lathrop grabbing her rebound. Hands it over to Charlotte Soliday. Now over to Glenna and LeBret at the left wing. Pass back into Lathrop at the left lane. Now outside of the arc again. We'll get Charlotte Soliday in between circles here. Takes it down the right wing. Tries to pass that one into Lathrop under the basket, up for two, but the shot will not sink from Lathrop, and Vanderbark steals a rebound away, passes it over to NE2B, who tries to get it to Huntley, but Glenna Soliday steals that one back. Up for two from the left block, and that will sink from Soliday. 25-16 now that score, 1:43 left in the first half. So we have Vanderbark going up for two from the left elbow. Her shot will not sink, but the Gorillas got a little too aggressive that one. They'll be drawing up a foul.
Foul coming against number 32, Sam Stiles, for her second personal and second team foul.
And that will be sending Vanderbark to the free throw line. First shot is up, and that is back of the iron. No good for Vanderbark on that shot. Score remaining 25-16 right now. Gorillas up by 9, 1:41 left in the second quarter. One more shot here for Vanderbark. Shot is up. And I think we have a lane violation called there. And so possession handed back over to the Gorillas here. We'll have LeBret inbounding. She'll be giving it to Charlotte Soliday. Soliday taking this one over the Eagle logo. She'll pass it off on this right wing now to LeBret. Back out to Glenna Soliday between circles. Now LeBret on the right wing again, goes up to the short corner, up for a two, but it will not sink. It's a scramble for the rebound, eventually picked up by Henniger, who hands it over to Robinson on this near sideline. Now back over to Henniger. She'll step through that center jump circle, pass down on this left wing. Now we'll find that left lane with Robinson. And Robinson tries to go up for two, but she drags her foot a little too much there. Travel called on the play. We also have a sub rolling in for the Gorillas.
Sub rolling in, Mikal Knopp.
And we have LeBret inbounding to Charlotte Soliday. 1:11 left in the first half. Soliday takes this one down that left side this time. She'll get it off to Glenna at the left wing. Back to LeBret between circles. Steep on that left side, hand over to Glenna Soliday, finds the left block up for two, but it's over the basket. Rebounded by Vanderbark. And then now over to Henniger, lobs a pass over to Robinson at the left lane, up for two from Robinson. The shot will fall short of the basket, but Robinson gets another opportunity to get 2 more points on the board here.
Foul coming against number 32, Sam Stiles, for her 3rd personal and 3rd team foul.
First shot is up from Robinson, and that one hits the side of the rim and will not sink. Sub coming in here for the Gorillas.
Sub rolling in Mariah LeBret.
One more shot left here for Holly Robinson. Shot is up, and that one is left of the rim, no good, and that will be rebounded by Knopp. Hand over to Glenna Soliday. Pass over to her sister Charlotte on the right wing. Now we'll get it back off to LeBret, and on the left lane now. Swing back off to Mariah LeBret here. Now we have Charlotte Soliday working under the basket there. Passes it over to LeBret, up for two, but that one will not sink, and it's Robinson with the rebound. Tries to pass it over to Henniger, but Mariah LeBret wanting to steal that one away. We have a jump ball called. This one will go to the Bulldogs. We have 16.8 seconds left in the half. So shot clocks are off, and Huntley is inbounding for the Bulldogs. Hands that one over to NE2B. Back over to Huntley now. She'll break through and get over the timeline there on the fast break towards that free throw line. Off to Henniger, left slot up for three, but it will not sink. Charlotte Soliday gets the rebound. She has 3 seconds as she drives down towards the right block, up for two, and that will sink from Soliday to finish out this first half of action. Score as we go into halftime is 27-17. The Gorillas are up by 10. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back for our halftime yap right after this. And welcome to our halftime yap. Mason, this game has been a super fun one. Go ahead, tell us something about it. What's been the best part?
Well, I've really liked to see how Glenna and Charlotte Soliday have really been working together to really capitalize on this game.
Yes, for sure. You can really see the bond with those two sisters here in this game. They have just been working really well with one another. Have some no-look passes between the two of them. And their team really has been high chemistry this game especially. They have made minimal mistakes. I feel like their main thing is the Bulldogs are able to steal their rebounds away pretty easily. But other than that, this team has been focused in today. They have been running a really good game here.
Yeah, a lot of steals from the Bulldogs too, especially from the Gorillas here.
Yes.
With Glenn and Charlotte Soliday also still, like we said, that bond is really helping them control the game.
Yes, for sure. And the Gorillas are known to put on some of that defensive pressure there and are able to make those turnovers happen. And so it's been really fun to see it right here in front of us where they just kind of trap them there and are able to steal that one away. And the Bulldogs have been working really hard to try and prevent that. But the Gorillas are just so persistent with that it kind of makes it impossible for the Bulldogs to not let that happen. But I mean, the Bulldogs have also just been on a roll here recently. They haven't been able to get as many points up on the board, but they have still been working really solidly together. And it's been a lot of fun to see the back and forth here between the two of these teams.
Yeah, definitely like that. And looking at the Bulldogs, Allie Jenkins really hasn't done as much as she did last night, so I'm really hoping to see her really rise to the occasion here in this second half of action.
Yeah, for sure. She got subbed out of the game here because she does have 3 of those personal fouls. And so Coach just wanting to make sure that she can play in that second half of the game, made the smart call to get her out of there, let her kind of get refocused there. So I am excited to see what Jenkins will bring for us in the second half of the game. I am expecting some more of those step-back threes.
Yeah, and then looking back over at the Gorillas, Glenna Soliday, she has 19 points, which is 70% of her whole team.
That is kind of crazy there. That is really good work there by, you said Glenna Soliday for that one? And that's just been really fun to see there, having her work under the basket, outside of the arc as well. It's just been a lot of fun to see that. And Charlotte also, absolute unit here for the Gorillas. They have just been kind of setting the team up for a lot of those points there. Lathrop under the basket as well, has gotten a lot of the rebounds, those putback shots, and overall this team is just working really well together today.
Yeah, and like we said, Glenna Soliday with those 19 points, that is more than the Bulldogs' entire roster has today so far.
Yes, for sure. And I know yesterday we saw the Bulldogs come in a bit stronger in that second half of the game as well. And so I'm excited to see if they're going to try that here again today. So I am just really excited to see Vanderbark has been working really well for the Bulldogs here today, as well as Robinson. I feel like Robinson is one of those quieter players that kind of tends to fly under the radar, but she gets a lot of work done and has been an absolute asset here for the Bulldogs. And so I think that pretty much does it for our halftime yap here. Don't go anywhere because we have just 1 minute and 13 seconds before we'll get back into the action. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to this KUBS basketball broadcast. We have both teams stepping out onto the court here. We had a little switch up here. We're going to have Sophia Peeker with me now. Welcome back, Sophia.
Thank you. I'm excited. I'm excited to see this game.
Yes, it's been a really fun one. And, ooh, flat tire from Lathrop. That is strike number 1. Got to keep those shoes tied here.
Yep.
She like triple knotted that one or something. It's got to be secure on there this time. She should be good the rest of the game.
Hopefully.
So now we'll have Charlotte Soliday set to inbound here for the Gorillas. Hands it over to her sister Glenna. Takes it down that right wing. Now pass back down on this left side. Finds Lathrop at the left lane, up for 2, and already got some points on the board in the second half. Score now 29-17. 7:45 left in the third quarter. We have Penwell handing it off to Jenkins at the top of the arc. Now back over to Huntley, who steps back in between circles, drives down that left wing. Getting in a bit of a tussle there with Charlotte Soliday. We have a jump ball called, and this one does go to the Bulldogs, so we'll have Huntley inbounding from that far sideline. Huntley gives it off to Jenkins here. Jenkins takes it down towards this right side. She'll hand that one over to Penwell deep on the left. Now we'll get it up inside of the key there. We have Henniger in the key trying to push under the basket, and a foul drawn up here on the play. This one will be going against the Gorillas.
And that foul goal gets number 20, McCall Knopp, her first personal, and the Gorillas' first team foul.
And so now we have Penwell in between circles here for the Bulldogs. Hands it off to Jenkins on that left wing. She'll step back towards the point and gives it over to Huntley deep on that left side. To drive in towards the wing, then hand it back over to Penwell. Now back to Huntley on the slot. Now we have Jenkins in between circles here. 10 seconds left on that shot clock. She'll drive in towards the left slot. Looking for a pass in, tries to get it into Vanderbark, and Henniger picks that back up. Tries to hand it over to Vanderbark again, but it bounces out of bounds. That's off of the hands of the Bulldogs. So we'll be having the Gorillas set to inbound this one. Glenna Soliday going to inbound to her sister Charlotte. And we also have a sub rolling into the game here for Colfax.
Holly Robinson coming out to the game.
So now Glenna Soliday inbounding for the Gorillas near sideline. Gives it over to Charlotte. Now back to Glenna. She'll take this one over that Eagle logo. Looking down that right wing. Now we'll pass it down this left side with Charlotte Soliday at the left corner. Get it back up towards the left wing now. Circle around up towards the point. Drive up into the paint. Hand it over to Lathrop at the left short corner. Up for 2, but it will not sink, and it's Henniger with the rebound. Gets it over to Jenkins, who takes it down the left lane. Up for 2, and that is no good from Jenkins. This one's rebounded by Glenna Soliday. She's on the fast break down the court, gets on the right wing. Pass over to her sister Charlotte on the left side. She'll drive in towards the left lane, up for 2, and that one will sink from Charlotte Soliday. 31-17 is now that score with 6:04 left in the third quarter. Now possession handed back over to the Gorillas here. Timeout called, so we're going to take a quick break too, and we'll be right back after this. And welcome back to this KUBS broadcast. We have both teams coming back out onto the court here. 6:04 left in the third quarter. And we'll have Stiles inbounding for the Gorillas near sideline right in front of her own bench. Gets it over to Glenna Soliday. She'll take it in between circles here, keeping the pace nice and slow. Now we have Lathrop handing it over to Charlotte Soliday, who takes it out just inside of that right wing. Tries to put a shot up, but we have a foul called here. This one would be going against the Gorillas.
Foul on number 11, Charlotte Soliday, her second personal, and the Gorillas' third team foul.
And now we have Robinson in control here for the Bulldogs. Hands it over to Vanderbark. Now back to Jenkins between circles. Up for 3 from a different zip code, but it hits the front of the rim. Vanderbark gets her putback shot. That one will not sink. Henniger picking that one up. Also will not sink there. We have Robinson under the basket trying to get that one up, but can't get that one done. A foul called on the play to be going against the Gorillas.
Foul against number 20, McCall Knopp, her second personal, and the Gorillas' third team foul.
Now we have Jenkin at the right wing. She'll go up for a three from there, but it's right of the rim. Huntley picking up her rebound. Hands it back to Jenkin between circles. Fake it down that left side. Now pass off to Vanderbark on the left wing. Drive up in left lane, up for two, but it's swatted down by Lathrop and stolen by Charlotte Soliday. Lobs a pass over to Glenna, who takes it at the left block. Up for two for Soliday. Her shot will not sink, but she ends up sliding on the floor with a foul called here against the Bulldogs. A little bit too much intensity with that one.
Foul against number 30, Allie Jenkin, her fourth personal, and the Bulldogs' first team foul.
So now we have Glenna Soliday to that freedom stripe. Ready for her first shot. That one is up, and that goes right on in there for Soliday. Subs coming into the game for both teams.
For the Bulldogs, Allie Nebb, and for the Gorillas, Taylor LeBret.
Yeah, Nebe and LeBret now coming into play here as we have one more shot here for Soliday. That one is up, swish right on in as well.
Ooh, flawless.
33-17 now that score. Gorillas in the lead, 5:10 left in the third quarter. So we have Nebe lobbing a pass over to Huntley. Huntley on this right side, circles back around towards the top of the arc. Fakes a pass over to Vanderbark, tries to actually give it to her, but Glenna Soliday sees right through that one, steals it away, left block, up for two, and that will sink for Soliday. 35-17 now that score with 4:48 left in the third quarter. Vanderbark on the far sideline, hands it over to Robinson. She'll get it in towards that free throw line, hand off to Henniger. Now back inside the paint, up for two for Vanderbark. Her shot will not sink, but that is due to no fault of her own. Vanderbark to make the trip to the free throw line.
Foul against number 34, Claire Lathrop, her second personal, and the Gorillas' fourth team foul.
First shot is up for Vanderbark, and that one will sink to bring our score 35-18 with 4:36 left in the third quarter. One more shot left here for Brooke Vanderbark. Getting set and ready there. Shot is up. That one is also good for Vanderbark. 35-19 is now that score with 4:36 left in the third. Glenna Soliday in control here for the Gorillas, taking it over the Eagle logo. Pass off to LeBret on the right wing. And trying to find Knott, but it gets out of bounds there. Can't keep her hands on that one, so Bulldogs get to inbound here. That will be Vanderbark giving it over to Nebe. Nebe trying to go down this near sideline, hand over to Henniger. Now Vanderbark on that right side tries to pass it back to Henniger, but Glenna Soliday steals it away. Goes in for a layup from the right block, and that is good for Soliday. 37-19 now that score. 4:08 left in the third as we have Robinson under the basket, up for two, but shoots it over. Glenna Soliday picking up her rebound. She'll get that one over to her sister, Charlotte, on the fast break at that right lane. Now back to Glenna at the slot. Charlotte Soliday takes it up, right block up for two, but it will not sink. Now we'll find LeBret, left wing up for three, and right on the mark for Taylor LeBret. 40-19 is now that score with 3:40 left in the third quarter. Lob pass over to Robinson, but it goes over her head, and Lathrop steals it away, handing it to Glenna Soliday. She'll slow down as she crosses the timeline. Hand over to LeBret at the left wing. Swing back up towards the top of the arc here with Charlotte Soliday. Drive up into the paint, up for two, but it will not sink there. Knopp gets a rebound, hands it back to Charlotte Soliday. Now we'll find LeBret at the left elbow, up for two, and that will sink. 42-19 now that score with 3:10 left in the third. Vanderbark in control here for the Bulldogs. Long pass over to Henniger on the near sideline. She'll find that right wing. And a foul drawn up on the play. This one will be going against the Gorillas here. So we'll have Huntley set to inbound this pass for the Bulldogs. And still waiting to see who we're calling that foul on here. We're actually going to, I think they have that as a shooting foul here. So,
wow.
Yeah, Robinson going to the free throw line with a foul called against the Gorillas.
Foul against number 34, Claire Lathrop, her third personal, and the Gorillas' fifth team foul.
And that's why she's in bonus now. So We have Robinson at that charity stripe. First shot is up, almost goes in there, but barely bounces out for Robinson. Subs rolling in here for both of the teams.
For the Gorillas, coming in, well, I actually didn't catch the Gorillas. Oh, coming in for the Gorillas, Sam Stiles. And for the Bulldogs, Addie Pettawell.
And we had that shot go up. It was no good. The Gorillas did end up grabbing that rebound. Hand over to Glenna Soliday. She'll shoot it over to her sister Charlotte, who finds that right wing. Steps back a bit, lobs a pass over to LeBret on the left. Now back out in between circles with Charlotte Soliday. Finds Glenna at the right wing. Now we'll have Stiles at the short corner. Give it to LeBret, left wing, and up for three. And LeBret, with no mistakes in her form there, 45-19. Is now that score with 2:25 left in the third. Get it off to Huntley at the top of the arc. Swing down to Nebe at the right wing. Vanderbark under the basket and up for two, but it will not sink there. Lathrop with the rebound, handing it over to Glenna Soliday. She'll jog through that center jump circle. Hand over to LeBret at the left wing. Now we'll find Stiles pushing that one intended for Lathrop, but bit of a miscommunication there. Penwell stealing that one away, lobs a pass over to Nebe, who almost loses control but picks that one back up. Now we have Huntley getting this one over to Vanderbark just inside the right wing to try and bounce a pass in, and it hits some feet there, so we're going to have a kickball called and a sub come in for the Gorillas.
Coming onto the court, McCall Knott.
And so we have Nebe inbounding for the Bulldogs with a fresh 30 on the shot clock. She'll get that one into Robinson, up for two under the basket. Her shot will sink to bring the score 45-21, and she'll get an and one call here with a foul going against the Gorillas.
Foul against number 12, number 32, Sam Stiles. Her fourth personal, and the Gorillas' sixth team foul.
So Robinson back at that free throw line. First shot is up, and that one hits the back of the iron, will not fall, and Stiles gets her rebound and hands it over to Glenna Soliday. She'll find LeBret on the right wing. Now Charlotte at the right slot. She'll step back in between circles, drive off towards that left wing now. Find that right side again. We're at the right wing with Charlotte Soliday. Drives into the paint there. She's at the right block. Gets it back outside of the arc there. 6 left on the shot clock as LeBret goes up for three from the right slot, but it's no good. Vanderbark gets her rebound. We have Robinson. Lobs a pass over to Nebe on this near sideline. She'll take it up between circles there. Hand back over to Robinson. Now we'll find Huntley on the left wing. Back over on this right side now. Trying to get into the paint there. Vanderbark at the right block. Up for two, but it's over the basket, and Glenna Soliday will end up with that rebound for the Gorillas. Passes it over to her sister Charlotte on the left side, who takes it up towards the point. Tries to drive in, finds LeBret under the basket, up for two, but the shot will not sink. Nebe is who ends up grabbing that rebound away. She'll be on the fast break as she goes down towards the left wing here. Pass off to Penwell, deep on that left side. Lob a pass over to Vanderbark, right block, up for two, but it will not sink. Robinson gets her rebound. Her putback shot is also no good, and she gets her own rebound on that one. And a foul called up here on the play, so we'll get to go back to the free throw line with Robinson as we have another foul called against the Bulldogs.
Foul against number 20, McCall Knott. Her third personal.
And so now Holly Robinson gets 2 more shots here. First one is up. That one hits the back of the iron and bounces on out of the basket. So score remaining 45-21 for right now. 1 more shot left here for Robinson. Only 25.9 seconds left in the third. Robinson's second shot is up, and that one is good. Bring the score now 45-22. 24 seconds left in the third quarter with Charlotte Soliday taking this one across the timeline. Hands off to her sister Glenna between circles. Down on that right side with LeBret now. We'll find Charlotte Soliday at the point again. Now swing down that left wing, back up towards the top. 8 seconds remain as we have Charlotte Soliday deep on that right side. Hand off to Glenna, who takes it down the right lane and finds Knob just inside the arc there, up for a 2, and that shot will not sink. Score as we end the third quarter is 45-22. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this. And welcome back to this Cubs sports broadcast, Sophia.
Yeah.
What a quarter that was.
I
Glenna Soliday, she's
I
been on
know.
fire. Yeah.
I'm like at a loss for words. Like, she has scored so many points.
Yeah, she has just been in her groove here today. Can't see what she does. Can't wait to see what she does here
Yeah.
in the fourth quarter.
Me
She
too.
is now in control of the ball here for the Gorillas. Shoots it over to her sister on the right wing. Tries to drive up into the paint, but gets it back outside. Now Glenna Soliday hands over to McCall Knopp, right lane, up for 2, but it's over the basket. Rebounded by Vanderbark. She'll get it over to Nebe, who takes it down and hands it over to Huntley at the right lane. Now we'll find Penwell up for 3 from the left wing. Will not good. Robinson with the putback shot, and that one will sink to bring our score 45-24. 7:25 left in the fourth quarter of action here. Charlotte Soliday on the right wing. Hand back over to Glenna on the left. Back off to Charlotte in between circles there. Drives up into the paint. Now hands it back outside. Glenna Soliday trying to get towards that free throw line. Hand back over to Charlotte Soliday, left wing. Now Glenna left block up for 2. And there she goes again. 47-24 with 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Nebe handing it over to Huntley on this near sideline. Huntley takes it up towards the top of the arc there. Hand back over to Nebe on the right wing. Lob a pass over to Huntley on that left side. Now to Penwell. Up for a 3 from the point. And that is good.
Beautiful shot.
47-27 now that score. Gorillas up by 20. 6:35 left in the fourth. Glenna Soliday in control for the Gorillas. Take it over the Eagle logo. Shoot it out towards that right wing with Charlotte Soliday. Looking for a pass into the paint there. She'll circle around. Hand it off to Stiles between circles. Now to Glenna Soliday, right wing. Charlotte at the point. Back over to Glenna, right wing, up for 3. Finds the front of the rim. Charlotte Soliday gets a rebound. Now we have Sam Stiles up for 2. That one will not sink, and it's Penwell with her rebound. She'll get this one over to Nebe, who takes it up towards the top of the arc there. Pass over to Penwell on this right side. Now we find Robinson at the right block. Back over to Huntley, who gets it off to Nebe, left wing. Left elbow up for the 2, but it's right of the mark. Sam Stiles picking up her rebound and handing it to Charlotte Soliday. Soliday taking that one up towards the point. She'll drive down the right lane, hand out. We'll find Stiles left wing. Now Lathrop at the left corner. Back off to Glenna Soliday, left wing. Looking, trying to direct some traffic here. She'll find her sister. Now back to Glenna, left corner and up for 3. And that one goes high and goes in. 50-27 is now that score with 5 minutes and 18 seconds left in this game. We have Penwell taking it across the timeline here, handing it over to Nebe. Nebe getting stuck in some defense here, hands it over to Huntley. Now we'll get it down on that left wing with Vanderbark. Swing back out towards this left side. Drive down the left lane, hand it to Nebe at the slot. She'll take it down the right side. We have Huntley. Give you back to Nebe at the point, up for 3. That one hits the back of the rim, will not sink, but Huntley grabs a rebound, finds Penwell left wing.
Wow.
And yes, these girls are an asset outside of the arc this quarter.
Absolutely on fire.
50-30 now that score with 4:38 left in the fourth. Now Charlotte Soliday deep on that right side. Swing down to Glenna at the left wing. Push into Lathrop at the left block. Almost losing control. Tries to get it back to Stiles, but Huntley almost stealing that one away, but it goes out of bounds there. A little bit too much momentum with that one. Subs coming in for both teams.
Coming in for the Gorillas, we have Taylor Lebret and Mariah Lebret. And for Bulldogs, Allie Jenkins.
And we have a timeout called, so we're going to take a quick break too, and we'll be right back after this. And welcome back to this Cubs Sports broadcast. 4 minutes and 26 seconds left of this game, and Gorillas inbounding this one. We have Lebret, right wing, up for an immediate three, but it's over that basket. Rebounded by Vanderbark. Now Jenkins taking it down right wing, finds Huntley at the right corner, up for three, but that one also goes over their basket. That's rebounded by Penwell at the left side. Tries to pass that one over, but it's stolen away by Glenna Soliday. Soliday jogging across the Eagle logo, slowing down as she crosses half court. Hand over to Lathrop, just inside the arc there. Now we'll find Mariah Lebret handing it to Glenna Soliday at the left corner. She'll circle around, trying to get in towards that left lane. Gets tripped up a bit there, and we have a foul called. This one will be going against the Bulldogs.
Foul going against number 32, Brooke Vanderbark, her second personal, and the Bulldogs' first team foul.
We also have a sub rolling in here for the Bulldogs.
Coming in, Lola Henniger.
Yeah, she'll be taking the place of Vanderbark here for a few minutes.
Yep.
And that leaves Taylor Lebret to inbound for the Gorillas. Hands that to Lathrop, and now we have Soliday at the left wing. Glenna Soliday directing some traffic, and off to Lebret. Now Taylor Lebret right wing. We'll get it into Lathrop at the free throw line, up for two, but that one will not sink, and Robinson with the rebound hands it over to Jenkins. Jenkins gonna take it down this right wing, hand back to Henniger. Lobs a pass over to that left side, up for three from Penwell, back of the rim. Henniger with her rebound, she tries to get that shot put up. It will get stuffed right down on her, but we have a foul called to be sending her to that free throw line and trying to get those points made up.
Foul against number 20, McCall Knopp, her fourth personal, and the Gorillas' first team foul.
So now Lola Henniger is at that charity stripe. First shot is up, and that one swishes right on in there for Henniger. 50-31 is now that score with 3:22 left in the fourth quarter of action here. One more shot for Henniger. Getting set and ready, that shot is up, and that one is also good. 50-32 now that score, 3:20 left in that fourth. We have Jenkins trying to steal that one away, but Glenna Soliday gets it back under control here for the Gorillas. She'll hand it down on the left wing with Taylor Lebret. Now back to Mariah between circles. Glenna Soliday handing this one back to Taylor Lebret left wing. Pass into Lathrop. Now Glenna Soliday at the point. Tries to drive down that right lane, up for two. The shot will not sink from Glenna Soliday, but a little bit too much interference from the Bulldogs. We'll have a foul drawn up on that play to send her to the stripe.
Foul against number 14, Addie Penwell, her first personal, and the Bulldogs' second team foul.
First shot is up from Soliday. That one is back of the iron and will not sink. So score remaining 50-32 right now. 2:59 left in the fourth quarter of action. Second shot is up, and that one is going to be good from Soliday. 51-32 is now that score with 2:57 left in the fourth quarter. Get it to Penwell down that left wing. Looking for a pass. It's stolen away by Mariah Lebret. She'll hand that one over to Glenna Soliday in the backcourt, keeping the pace slow and controlled here. Off to Taylor Lebret at the right wing. Now back to Mariah up here. We'll get it down at that left block with Knob now back outside of the arc. We have 10 seconds left on that shot clock. Mariah Lebret handing it to her sister Taylor, who takes it up to the point. 4 seconds left. Glenna Soliday up for three left wing. It will not sink. And Mariah Lebret gets a rebound and puts the shot up, and that one will be good to bring our score 53-32. We have the Gorillas up by 11 with 2:10 left in the game. Bulldogs trying to get the ball worked around here, but drag their feet a little too much. So we have a travel called and subs coming in for both of the teams.
For the Bulldogs, coming in Ali Neebe, and for the Gorillas, Charlotte Soliday.
So now we have Taylor Lebret inbounding to Glenna Soliday. She'll take this one nice and easy through the backcourt here. Approaching that top of the arc, she'll hand it off to Mariah Lebret, right wing. Now off to Lathrop at the slot. Taylor Lebret at the point now. Gets it down on that right side again and loses control, but it's picked back up. We'll get it off to Taylor Lebret, right slot up for three, and she drains that one right on in there. Yeah. 56-32 now reads that score with 1:35 left in this game. Jenkin on the right wing gets it off to Neebe at the point, and getting a little bit too aggressive here. We have a foul called, and this one will be going against the Bulldogs.
Foul against number 10, Izzy Huntley, her first personal, and the Bulldogs' third team foul.
So now we have Glenna Soliday crossing through that center stripe. She'll get it down on that right wing. Now get it in towards that short corner with Charlotte Soliday. Gets that one back out to Taylor Lebret at the point. Now we'll find the left wing back over on that right side with Mariah Lebret. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Glenna Soliday at the point. Gets it off to Taylor Lebret, left wing, and she'll do it again.
Wow.
59-32. Lebret's found a new fire here. 56 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Allie Jenkins taking it to the free throw line and up for two. Hits the side of the rim, will not sink on that one. And Glenna Soliday grabs her rebound there. And timeout called, so we're going to take a break too, and we will be right back after this. And welcome back to this Cubs Sports broadcast. We have 49 seconds left, and both teams brought in a plethora of subs to let our younger players get some more experience here. So now we have Charlotte Soliday for the Gorillas. Hands that one down under the basket, up for two from Van Buren, but it will not sink. Back off to Soliday, directing some traffic on this right side of the court there. Back over to Van Buren at the wing. Now we'll get it up to Strozik. And back to Charlotte Soliday at the right slot. Soliday trying to work her way into the paint there. She'll go up for two, but it's over the basket. And that one will go out of bounds. That's off of the hands of the Bulldogs there. So we'll have the Gorillas inbound from underneath their basket. Shot clock is off with only 22.7 seconds left in the game. Charlotte Soliday looking for her pass. Gets it off to Mariah Lebret deep on this right side. Back off to Soliday on the right wing. She'll step back, and I'm thinking she's just trying to let that clock run out a bit there.
Yeah.
We'll pass this one over to Strozik on the left side now. Now back to Soliday, just kind of strolling beyond the arc here. And yeah, she's just going to dribble that one around, let the clock run out. So final score as we end this game is 59-32 with the Gorillas walking away with the win on this one. Thank you all so much for joining us here. So that will leave the Bulldogs at 4th for the district and the Gorillas at 3rd. Great games from both of the girls here today.
Yeah.
Wow. Sophia, give us some overview. What have been like the highlights here for you this game?
Well, I only stayed for the second half, but I think overall just like the back and forth and like just I guess for both teams how they just sink those threes.
Yes, for sure. And I feel like Glenna Soliday was just like absolutely in her rhythm this game. She was focused, looking to finish her season strong and get a good roll as she gets going into state. And so with that, we have a game coming up in just about 15 minutes here. That's Reardon versus Freeman. So make sure you stay tuned and we'll be back for that game after this.